Alright, well, I asked if people wanted to see this. I really did. I posted about it on Twitter, and it seemed like a popular idea. I know this channel is mostly used for content related to the world of horror, but, well, here's something else. This is how I'd make a Fantastic Four movie. First of all, forget the words dark and gritty. Erase them from your mind for the duration of this video. My Fantastic Four film is colorful, it's fun, and it's funny. It takes from The Incredibles everything that The Incredibles took from the classic Fantastic Four. This movie is very much rooted in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I want you to imagine that world as we proceed. First things first, the costumes. We've seen a lot of playing around with the classic blue and white outfits, and I say, let's just move on from those and try something else. I'm going to go with the Future Foundation costumes. This look appeared in the comics for a while, basically as a way to distance the comics from the film franchise, since Marvel no longer owned it. I think they look nice for what we're going to be doing here. The only change I would make is, of course, putting the classic number 4 back on the chests. In my Fantastic Four movie, the team already exists. We won't be showing their origin story, at least not in the same way it's already been explored. There's no reason to slow everything down yet again with a retelling of a superhero origin. The Fantastic Four exists, they have their headquarters in the Four Freedoms Plaza Tower, and they're surrounded by a thriving scientific community that lives and works in the plaza. Think of it like Facebook headquarters if Facebook actually did something important. Getting to work with the Fantastic Four, or even just be in the same building with them, is an honor many genius researchers will only dream of. Another small change. The Fantastic Four aren't the protagonists. Our lead character is actually Aaron, played by Charlie Day. He's a publicist that has been called to the plaza to assist with the Fantastic Four's public image. Reed is seen by the public as an elitist prick who makes insensitive comments about peers that are beneath him. Sue is the subject of a lot of lewd content posted online. All faked, of course. Johnny is, naturally, a hothead who parties all night and gets into fights with normal humans. And the Thing says and reposts a lot of crazy shit on social media. When Aaron arrives at the tower, no one has time for him. Security is overworked, employees have more important things to do than talk to some random normie, and so on. Aaron is at the start of a bad day, made worse when he's stripped by security, using only a notepad to cover his crotch as they process him. By the way, let's slap a nice Comics Code Authority logo on that notebook. The first person on the team to meet with Charlie is Sue, the Invisible Woman, played by Elle Fanning. She seems normal at first and remarks that it's tough being the only normal person on the team. She then notices a group of people talking to one side of the room. I wonder what they're talking about, she remarks, before going invisible. Aaron is visibly surprised and looks around to see where she went. When she returns, she remarks, "It's alright, it wasn't about me." Yeah, she's a little paranoid, a bit invasive, not really the normal one like she thinks. Next, Aaron meets Johnny, the Human Torch, and Ben, the Thing. Let's just make the Thing full CGI and have him be the fun, colorful version from the comics, okay? Kind of like the Hulk in the Avengers films. Please? He'd be voiced by Nick Offerman for a less bass-boosted and more cantankerous version of the character. Since this is a Marvel movie, let's cast Ryan Gosling as Johnny. I mean, fuck it. You got Robert Downey Jr., get Ryan Gosling. Johnny's fixing a bike, and Ben is going on about conspiracies. He thinks Reed is putting something in his food to make him more docile. This is a Ben Grimm who would watch Alex Jones. Johnny seems to dislike Ben, and vice versa. They're tired of each other's shit, even though they seem to hang out together. Now, Aaron is desperate to be accepted, and tries to relate to Johnny by making fun of Ben. Surprisingly, Johnny tells him to fuck off, and that no one makes fun of the Thing but him, because only family get to rag on each other. So that's a swing and a miss for Aaron. Finally, Aaron spends an entire montage worth of time in a waiting room before eventually getting to meet Reed Richards, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This version of Reed is inspired by Elon Musk and Steve Jobs. He dreams big, probably too big, but with a certain lack of tact that comes with knowing you're one of the smartest people alive. Reed doesn't openly insult people, he just gives them backhanded compliments. For example, he might tell Aaron that he must be very good at influencing people's opinions, since he looks homeless but still managed to get a job. Naturally, Reed has very little time or patience for questions. He continues working and pays almost no attention to Aaron as he does. "So, what exactly do you do here?" Aaron asks. "I create," Reed casually replies. "For example, this is the ultimate nullifier. Powerful enough to theoretically erase matter from existence, along with its user, unfortunately." Confused, Aaron asks, "Why would you invent that?" Reed thinks that's kind of idiotic, so no one else can. Dejected, worried, and seriously questioning his job choice, Aaron wanders the facility. While passing by all manner of confusing scientific scenarios, he meets Alicia Masters, played by Aubrey Plaza. Hey, Alicia, why exactly are you dating the Thing?"
Because I like it.
Now here's something controversial. In the comics, Alicia is blind. But that's never made sense to me in a world of superheroes, aliens, and robots, especially when she's connected to one of the greatest inventors to ever exist. Alicia isn't blind. Not anymore. She has cybernetic implants that allow her to see. In fact, she can see really, really well. Heat signatures, microscopic zoom. Fuck that normal girlfriend shit. We're making Alicia Masters a low-key superhero in her own right. Alicia is sarcastic. Funny, but very nice. She tells Aaron that it'll be okay, and that the team needs a few mortal humans like them around to keep them anchored in reality, things like that. Aaron meets Alicia's dad, Philip Masters, played by Rainn Wilson. Philip is yet another scientist, and is working with a mind control plastique, which he's attaching to rats. In other words, picture a handful of silly putty that, when attached to a living thing, can control how it behaves. See, we're setting up for a sequel here. Philip Masters is the Puppet Master, another Fantastic Four villain who controls others to do his bidding. We'll save that for later, though. Bolstered by Alicia's kind words, Aaron tries to talk to Reed again. He's obviously interrupting Reed, but this time he has the confidence to behave like a professional, a peer. He actually gets Reed to answer questions on his terms. Reed explains that he's on edge because Dr. Doom, an old rival, has been more active lately. He's up to something. Oh, and Dr. Doom is played by Viggo Mortensen, by the way. Reed explains that Dr. Doom has always been jealous of his accomplishments due to the age difference. Reed was too young to be Doom's intellectual rival, which he found insulting. Doom even had a thing for Sue, which Reed himself says is even creepier than his crush on Sue was. The discussion ends with Reed remarking, "I opened a door and I turned my friends into superheroes. Dr. Doom tried it and he burnt his face off." Which is actually canonically accurate for the original Dr. Doom. Anyway, Aaron doesn't get that reference, so Reed shows a holographic recording of the day the Fantastic Four got their powers. Reed opened a portal to the negative zone. No one entered, but cosmic rays emerged and struck 4 of the people in the room: Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny. There were multiple people there. It was an official, by-the-book experiment, and fate simply dictated that those 4 would be the ones affected. This solves a common problem with the origins of the Fantastic Four. Why were these 4 people chosen to travel to space, or into another dimension? In my version, they weren't chosen. Circumstance dealt them their hand. At this point, Reed has a heartfelt moment. He says that he failed the group, but maybe he can make it up to them by turning them into heroes. The Fantastic Four is a way for him to flip a negative into a positive. This is a brief moment of clarity and vulnerability for Reed, who has otherwise been acting like a demigod until this point. Now, throughout the film, we've seen a mysterious figure at work behind the scenes. Someone who has infiltrated the tower and has been hacking into security camera feeds, editing footage, stealing files, etc. This is a guy who blends in seamlessly through a variety of disguises. This is the Editor, a little-known minion of Doctor Doom from the comics. Someone who is adept at trickery, hacking, editing files, and so on. He's been doing some bad shit. He's basically been killing people and hiding the evidence. He's like a highly skilled cleaner who gets in, gets what he needs, and gets out. This all comes to a head as Aaron is talking to Reed. It seems like they're finally making a breakthrough when the alarm sounds. Everyone rushes to leave the tower, but they're closed in. Everything is suddenly on lockdown. Gathering in a large central area, the Fantastic Four are made to watch a sudden transmission on a large screen. Doctor Doom appears. He mentions that the tower is about to be destroyed, everyone will be killed, and the media will receive footage blaming the tragedy on a failed experiment conducted by Reed. Not only is he going to destroy the Fantastic Four and everyone they work with, and everything they've built, but he's also going to make it look like Reed fucked up and it's his fault. Doctor Doom's costume, by the way, would be inspired by his appearance in the Iron Man comics, when he took over for the title hero. Sleek mecha armor, dressed down to a simple cloak, nothing too flashy, nothing too silly, no attempt at making it realistic. So no problem, right? Doctor Doom is in another country, taunting them via satellite. All the Fantastic Four need to do is figure out the situation before their time is up. Not so simple, though. Aaron suddenly feels quite ill. He starts moving, and not of his own free will. He looks down in shock and confusion as his arm quickly shifts and transforms and reveals itself to be a robotic laser cannon. Aaron is not human. Aaron is a Doombot, and he had no idea. What happened to the real Aaron? Was there even a real Aaron in the first place? Who knows? All that matters is he's a weapon of mass destruction that was snuck right up to the Fantastic Four under false pretenses, and now he has no control over his own actions. Aaron apologizes profusely as he fights the Fantastic Four. He's been built specifically to exploit their weaknesses, so even though he's running on autopilot, it's a pretty square, even fight with a lot of flashy destruction and near-death moments. This is when Alicia Masters notices the Editor is the only person not overheating from the sheer terror of the emergency. He's too cool, too calm, like he expected this. She tussles with him. The Thing knocks him through a wall in response, and he quickly gives up the information on how to stop Aaron as the Thing pinches his head between two fingers and threatens to pop him like a boil. With the information provided, Aaron is subdued and deactivated, despite his protests. Naturally, the team managed to evacuate the building by superheating the blast doors to the point the Thing can barrel through them and open a path of escape. Reed goes into beautiful mind mode and shuts down completely as he thinks through exactly how and where Doctor Doom would have explosives placed in order to take down the building. Of course, as Sue and Reed traverse the tower, moving ever closer to the bombs, Doctor Doom appears through the hacked holographic projectors, sort of as a virtual projection that shit-talks them while using the tower's defense system to cause harm to them. When Reed finally comes to the correct realization, he and Sue take care of the problem, with Sue using an invisible force field to barely hold the bombs safely as they detonate. Cue end of movie wrap-up. We see a news report about what happened, and it's the actual information, as opposed to the fake news the editor put together. The plaza is being cleaned up, people are going back to work. Philip Masters tells his daughter, Alicia, that he's leaving. The Fantastic Four are too removed from society, and are a risk to their safety. Alicia spurns him to stay with Ben, saying Philip will cool off as soon as he's had time to think about it. Of course, we'll see him next time as the Puppet Master. Aaron, who would have been presumed dead, wakes up on a lab table as his operating system reboots. He's the same person, still thinks he's a normal guy, but now he has to come to terms with the fact he was a machine created for evil. Reed himself helped reprogram him so that he'd be in control of his own life going forward. "Why would you help me?" Aaron asks Reed. "Because no one else could," Reed replies. And so, Aaron leaves for Freedom's Plaza. He steps out into the street looking dazed and awestruck. Then, he looks up to the sky with a slight smile. Jets emerge from the heels of his shoes. Aaron takes off in a blaze of glory toward an uncertain but awesome future full of adventure. Charlie Day is Machine Man.